Good morning, guys. We're at the tool bench today. Don't be fooled by the card. So today I wanted to show you how to make a simple little set of earrings. This is the pendant I made for my sister-in-law. It's for her birthday. I will be giving it to her this weekend. It is 2 months late, I realize. My apologies. But anyway, I'm on my quest to reconnect with people and to follow through on things. So this is one of the things that I wanted to do. So all I'm going to do is take my, in this case, 20 gauge wire. Can you see that? So all I'm going to do is I will cut two 2-inch pieces off of it. And I will run it through my cloth to start the hardening process, and I will clean off the wire and things like that. And I will grab a ruler, because as always, I am not prepared. So all I'm going to do is just measure it on my ruler. I'm going to cut 2 inches, and I will do the first one on its own, and then the second one I will match up with it, and we'll do them together. And I have no idea if this video is going to be too long, or if I have to make one pair on its own and then put them together, or you know what I mean. Anyway, so what I do is I keep them together like this, and then I take my round nose pliers and I do them both at the same time. I will make the little loop like that. No, you can't see that. So make the little loop, and then you have to break its neck, so you have to go back. So when you look at it, it's a nice straight linear loop and pin. And then what I'm going to do, I usually use my Sharpie as my mandrel for my ear wires. So all I do is I take one of the fat Sharpies and I line them up together, and then I'm going to curve it around. So I have it like this. And then I take them apart or off the mandrel, and then keep them together because you want your ear wires to look the same. So now you can see one is a little bit longer than the other, so I will trim the other one. Sometimes that happens. It's okay. It's not a big deal. That's why you have side cutters. And then, because this is the part that will go into the ear first, you have to sort of bend it back a little bit. So I just choose a spot that would, about a half an inch, maybe a couple of centimeters. And then you go back a bit so it's easier to put into your ear. So this is a smaller ear wire. Some people prefer the larger ones. I just like this one. And then I just take my handy dandy cut burr, and then I just do the little ends, making sure that when you go to put it in your ear, it's not going to be sharp, so it's nice and smooth. You can really feel it on your own skin. So what I do, because your back of your hand is very sensitive, you can see if it's leaving scratches behind to see if it'll hurt someone if they go to try and put it in their ear. And then I do the same with the other one. It just needs a little bit, because sometimes when you cut it with your cutters, it will leave kind of a wedge shape, which is not what you want. It's not very, it does not lend itself to smoothing out easily, let's put it that way. See, you can hear it. I can feel it catching on my skin. So this is the part that usually takes a little bit longer. And there, that's better. Okay, so at this point you want to harden the wire. You'll get your bench block out, and then you will lay them down on there. And what I do is I usually start with this one. I will flatten it out a little bit. So I just get the flat side. I'll just harden it. so it won't bend as easily because copper is quite soft. And then I can take my nice, because I don't want to flatten it any more than that. So I will just take this one, and then you can just make sure you're watching your fingers when you're hammering. But this way, if you just sort of hold it in one little area, you can work on one side at a time. And then I'll just harden the wire. Now what I'll do is I will reshape them a little bit. So I will put them back on my mandrel. And then there you have two matching ear wires. They're exactly the same because you've worked on them at the same time. Then from here on in, it's just a question of choosing your beads. So choosing your beads, because I have the pendant that I made. Where is it? There it is. So it's just basically blue and white and copper. So I have a selection of some blue beads here. The thing is, they don't have to match exactly. It really doesn't matter at this point if they match exactly. So all I'm going to do, I usually work from the spool because that way you don't waste your wire. And it's just easy just to hold on to it. And it prevents it from going everywhere. So all I do, so I usually work from the smaller bead on the top and then the larger bead on the bottom. So the top one is going to be with 2 loops. So I just turn it, and then you're going to break it, and then go this side. I usually know by now where you'll get the feeling of it. So when you do the second loop on the other side, you want to face the same way. And then you want to break it also. And then you have your 2 loops. So you're going to do the same to the other earring, or the other blue one. Take your round nose, just go around until you hit, and then break it. It's called breaking its neck. It's kind of a weird term, but you sort of get the idea once you do it on your own. So it's just making sure you're straightening out the loop. And then for these ones, because these are going to hang on the bottom, I'm not going to put white beads on this one. I'm going to keep it all blue, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep it blue. So what I'm going to do is this is just a really pretty glass faceted blue bead. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a little, I call it a clapper. It's not really a clapper, but I'm basically going to flatten out this bottom piece so that my bead won't fall off. So I could well, maybe, you know what, maybe I'll do it the other way. So this is the other way I do it. I just fold it in on itself. I'm not making a loop. I'm just making a flat little surface, and I'm squeezing it together. And then I'm squeezing it as hard as I can so it's nice and strong. And then your bead will not fall off. That's another way of doing it if you don't want to do it with the hammer. And it's a little bit neater looking. I think we'll just do it that way. And again, we are going to make a loop on the end. And the smaller your loops are on your earrings, the nicer it will look once it's hanging from your ear. So we're going to do the same thing to this one. So we're going to make a little fold it in on itself, and then we're going to squeeze as hard as you can to sort of flatten it a bit and strengthen it. And then your bead will not fall off. Again, I'm going to cut it, make a little loop, and then break its neck. You know, things like that. It sounds horrible, I know. Anyway, so what you can see, I don't know if you can see it too well, because I used my other hammer, my small hammer. this one here, to flatten out this part of the ear wire. This is the part that sits in the ear. So I've already cleaned it through my cloth and everything, but it has a really nice flattened edge, so it looks a little bit, it has more presence, let's put it that way. So what we're going to do is we are going to attach our beads. So when you're attaching them, you want to make sure that your loops are facing the same way so that it always hangs nicely. And then you never try to pull the loops apart. You want to do a twist that will harden the wire at the same time, and it will ensure that your wire does not break. So if you try to fix your own necklace and you're trying to put that jump ring back on there, make sure you do the twisting motion and not a pull. So there you have a very simple little earring. And we're going to do the same for the other one. And you can neaten out the wires a little bit and squeeze them a little closer if you had to. I'm not going to worry about it. My sister-in-law has really nice dark curly hair, so, but, you know, if you do really long earrings, that can get caught in the hair too. So you want to make sure you're thinking of your client or your customer and, you know, the recipient and what their coloring is and what their hair is like. But there you have a set of earrings to go with the pendant. So all I'm going to do at this point, I made this card, just a very simple little card. I poked a couple of holes in the top, so I made it a window card. So basically I put the happy birthday on the inside, and then because I didn't do this very well, I just made it asymmetrical on purpose. So I poked a couple of holes in there. So I just wanted to see if I could do something a little bit different. You know, when you're gift giving, you're trying to make things a little bit different. So I did poke holes with my little hole puncher. Not a hole puncher. A piercing tool from scrapbooking. So that is how she'll receive that. So the earrings will go in here. The pendant will go in one of those little handmade boxes that I made from scrapbook paper in my one other tutorial, Gift Giving Made Easy. And then that's all I'm going to do. I am going to put the pendant in here. So this is one of those boxes that I made. I don't know if this is big enough. That's the other thing. You have to make sure it's big enough. See, not big enough. Real life, people. Real life. So we'll go the next size up. That's why I make them in different sizes. They come in handy. And I always make sure I have some on hand so that I can give them easily. So all I do is I will put it in there. And I just put it on some very nice waxed linen cord. And I made it long enough. I'm quite a bit taller than my sister-in-law, so she'll probably want to shorten it. But it's just a simple little knot. She can just tie another one in there and then just wear it over her chunky sweaters and things like that. So all I'm going to do is put that in there, put the lid on it, and I might decorate the box a little bit to go with the card, and then I will give that to her this weekend. So yeah, that is basically it. I kind of like how that turned out. It was just an idea, but it turned out well, actually. And for earrings, I probably wouldn't ship them in the mail like that unless they're more flat than this. These are quite round. I'm sure in my envelope it probably wouldn't fit too well. Let's see. Because it's quite a 3D card, so it's one of those things. I don't know, will it fit? Won't it fit? I have no idea. You know what? I might need a bigger envelope. So I'm just going to leave that for now and just show you this one more time. And there you go. Simple gift, but it turned out quite well. I'm very happy with it. Well, I hope you enjoy, guys. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend, and I hope the weather won't be too stinky. Who knows? Have a great time, guys. Bye.